spice things up.
He's now taking over the dial as our 95.7 The Game Warriors insider.
Hey, Bonta, I don't play basketball no more. I'm a full-time golfer.
Hey.
Okay?
Here's Dorell Wright.
Maybe D. Wright should play basketball again. Warriors could use another shooter, especially from the quarter. A 3-and-D guy. D. Wright, how much juice you got in those legs? Come on, man. You can play on this road trip. You can play on this road trip, Dorell. They need you. Go back home to South Beach. You go to Atlanta on Friday, check out Magic City and get those delicious wings. And then Sunday, the nation's capital. Then Monday in Memphis. Man, you all good.
Hey, we could drop the defensive part of 3-and-D. Which is good. I could be all three.
Well, hey, you fit right in because nobody's playing much defense on the Warriors right now. They're struggling. 3 straight losses, and then of course last night against Orlando. So where do we start here? A lot of people. Where do you want to start, Shasky? Where do you want to start?
Let's start with the final possessions, and just in general in basketball. I have always had an issue with I call it location discrimination. Okay, in basketball. No, I'm serious. In basketball, we allow so much physicality near the rim, and then if you breathe on somebody 40 feet away from the hoop, we're going to call it a foul. Jordan Poole attacks the lane on the play prior, throws up a wild left-handed shot, but clearly there's a lot of contact, no whistle, which I'm fine with. And then on the other end, I guess by the letter of the law, Clay gets into him and Wagner kind of like turns the hip, and you were a jump shooter. Explain to me the logic behind the discrepancy between contact at the rim and contact behind the three-point line. This, to me, is kind of like an unspoken thing. I feel like it's unfair.
Yeah, I think the rule now when you go to the basket, they're going to give the big man the benefit of the doubt if he goes up vertical. So when they say verticality. So I think that's where we see that a lot when they don't call those contact fouls because the big is putting his hand straight up and he's jumping straight up in the air. Now we got the rule where they protect the shooter. So any type of bump, if I can't land, if you touch me, if you brush up against me, that's an automatic foul. And that's just to protect the player. So I think it's kind of one of those rules where you just got to be a little more careful when you close out and kind of close out to the side, which, kind of defeats the purpose from closing out to the chest of shooters, But I get it, though, to protect our players. We all seen this, plenty of times with guys landing on either guy's foot or just, you run into somebody and players get hurt. So the league tries to do a good job with protecting those guys. But I think the ones at the rim, the verticality, that's why we don't see much of those calls.
Dorell Wright here on the Morning Roast on 95.7 The Game, of course, joins us every single Wednesday at 8 o'clock in the morning. Also co-host on NBC Sports Bay Area. Warriors pre- and post-game. Can't wait to see it today, D. Wright, when the Warriors take on the Miami Heat. And I was watching you guys yesterday try to break that loss down. Look, Klay Thompson foul was bad, but it didn't come down to that. It's the entire quarter. They scored 16 points in the fourth quarter. They turned the ball over 7 times, multiple moving screens, just lack of cohesion on offense. And a lot of people I see want to blame the head coach. So I ask you, D. Wright, what could Steve Kerr have done better in that fourth quarter to help out the Warriors and help out that squad try to pull out a game in Orlando?
It's definitely one of those games I would never blame a coach. I think what Draymond Green said a few times is, this is one of the worst teams in the league. That was the real facts. The numbers say that. Mm-hmm. So for you to come out lackadaisical, coming out without a sense of urgency, we know your best player isn't there, but you gotta come out and take the confidence of these young Orlando Magic players. These guys are getting ready to go, have a great summer. The Warriors are trying to play for something, so you got to come out with a sense of urgency as players. That has nothing to do with the coach. Playing hard has nothing to do with the coach. Energy has nothing to do with the coach. So you got to hold yourself accountable as a team. Go out there, play hard, and get wins, especially against teams that have nothing to play for. They just playing. You know what I mean? They playing to get to the end of the season. So
I'm with you,
player. You got to carry yourself in a different manner when you play against those type of teams, and then when you play against a team with Miami, you're gonna fight and try to give them your best and live with the results. But a team like the Orlando Magic, that's a must-win game. That one right there is gonna sting.
What's happened with Andrew Wiggins? Like, in season, D-Wright, this guy was playing at an unbelievable level, and it feels like it's just fallen off the map. What happened?
Yeah, I just think he's struggling. He's struggling. Anybody that struggles, anybody know that any struggle in this league, you get in your mind, you get in your head. And sometimes it looks like that, just him being aggressive. I can't say these last 3 or 4 games he has been aggressive, and I'll take that any day. He can miss all the shots he wants, but as long as he's being aggressive, getting 15 to 20 shots. I think I mentioned this about 4 or 5 games ago. He was struggling, but he only took like 12 shots. Like, that's not trying to get out of funk. If you want to get out of funk, you got to put those jumpers up. You got to attack the rim, just like we seen Klay Thompson right before that game. He scored at 38. You got to find your way out of that slump. So you got to be aggressive attacking the rim. And I thought a lot of those shots he missed yesterday were makeable shots. They just didn't go his way. But I like the fact that he is being aggressive and trying to get out of this slump.
Dorell, I 100% agree with you. We were discussing that a little bit earlier. 5 and 19 is not pretty, but a lot of bunnies and being in the block, I can live with him being aggressive. Maybe that's the start of his potential turnaround here. But I want to focus on Draymond Green for a second because he's the one who's talking. He's the one who's talking championship. He's the vocal leader of this basketball team. I just think in a game like that, when we think about last season, the way it ended, and Steve Kerr and Myers and Draymond all said he had to be more aggressive offensively. I just feel like a game like that last night, he can't walk out of the gym with only 3 field goal attempts. He's got to be more aggressive offensively. He's got to be a little bit more impactful defensively. Maybe it's the back. Maybe the back's not right, but I expected a little more from Draymond last night, D, right?
Yeah, no, most definitely. I'm pretty sure he's still dealing with some stuff and probably not feeling 100%, but Draymond Green, we all know, is a tough player, so he's going to give wherever he can. Would love to see him score more points because we talked about this early in the year, and he was doing this when Klay Thompson was out. He was bringing that 8 to 12 points a game and being aggressive. So, and that had a big reason why they were so successful early on. So I'm pretty sure Draymond Green is still trying to get his legs up under him, feeling more comfortable out there on the court. And I know he knows he has to score points as well for his team to be successful until Steph Curry comes back. And this is very similar when Klay Thompson was out. It's kind of the same team. They just kind of, subbed in for each other as far as, being injured right now. So Draymond definitely has to, give us that 8 to 12 points and be aggressive and try to get to that basket and look for a shot.
What about Kuminga? It feels like this guy's worked his way into the top 7 in terms of important players on the team right now. I know he's young, but man, I feel like he's got a big role to play come playoff time. How do they find a spot for him to help ease some of their congestion with 5 minutes to go in fourth quarters? Is there a place for him?
Yeah, I think it was found. He was a big reason why they got back in that game in that first half. They started going to JK. I think he had, 6 or 8 points in a row. He's attacking in transition. So I think they need to start finding him in transition a little more. He's proven and shown that he could break his man down. He could finish over the rim. He's one of those guys on this team that they don't have. He's a one-of-one on this team. The athleticism, the strength, the aggressiveness he plays with, and just the competing, the level he competes on. Now, I think the only thing with JK, and this just comes with being a good young player, got to be a little bit smarter when it comes to the fouls.
Yes.
When to foul, when not to foul, when to be aggressive, when not to be aggressive. And that's just part of the learning, the learning process of a rookie in this league. So JK is doing exactly what he's supposed to be doing. He's playing hard. He's playing aggressive. He just has to be a little bit smarter when it comes to the fouls.
I thought you're right about the fouls because he was in foul trouble and he just gets a poor whistle in general. But I feel like he's way farther along than I anticipated on draft night. He feels, and I know I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but doesn't he feel like a guy who has to get 30 minutes a game next year?
And this is JK, you saying?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. They got to find some minutes for him, just to build on this great rookie season. I know a lot of people thought he wouldn't be ready for a few years. A lot of people didn't understand the move. But we all knew, I knew JK was going to be a serious basketball player.
Yeah, this was your account.
You were at this. Right. We give you credit every second. You're the one who made us go up to Sacramento to go see him in that California Classic. And we came back like, yeah, this guy's going to be something.
Yeah, man, he's the real deal, man. And just how he plays, the perfect Golden State Warriors player. He fits in the system. Yes, he can do way more than what he does now, but he understands to get those minutes to be successful, he has to play within the system. And to get a young player that young to understand that and not call one play for him, but he can get you 16 to 20 points, that says a lot. So a guy like that you want to get more minutes for in the near future, but he's going to be one of those guys that demands it.
You know, D. Wright, I saw you guys threw up the panic meter yesterday. So where should the panic meter be at for Warrior fans? I'm still at a 4 out of 10 because I know Stephen Curry will be back. But boy, it's getting hairy here. It's getting dicey with 10 games left in the season.
I'm not really, going to cap that. I'm like I told him yesterday, I'm like in the middle of slightly concerned and not tripping.
Right.
Just because it's like, I think the thing that concerns me the most is 11 games now going into the playoffs. This is when you're supposed to hit your stride. This is when, you're supposed to be playing great basketball. So once you get to that first round of playoffs, you gelling, you going, you moving smooth, like everybody's healthy. And the Warriors, they still got guys that's out. They're still trying to figure out how to play with Draymond. They're still trying to figure out how to play with Klay Thompson. So the big three I'm not concerned about because they got the chemistry. Steph Curry, this is, a blessing in disguise because he gets to rest his body and then he gets to get back out there a little more fresh. But these guys got to start playing the right way and trending in the right direction these last 11 games. I know these guys can turn it on the last 3 or 4 games, but it's got to start now, man. They got to do a much better job with getting wins, getting back to that defensive team and that offensive team that people were scared to play against.
Nah, you're right. You're right, D. Right? You got.
Yeah, just one last thing. I mean, I'm looking at the rest of the schedule right now. How many more days off is Bonta going to get? Load management, kind of wild, I mean, I'm sitting there, I'm looking at the big three, and you guys, it seems like you're never together anymore. And whoever's Popovich in that situation over at NBC,
we're like the Golden State Warriors, man. You're never going to have a full lineup.
I mean, man.
Hey, sometimes you got to get rest. You got to get those mental days just so you go for that long playoff push. You know what I mean?
Well, what's up with my two-way? What's up with
my 10-day? You're not there yet.
No?
Man. We got to see more.
You looking for a 10-day?
Yeah, we got to see more of the G League, D. Right? We got to see more of the G League. He ain't there yet.
I sent him down to the C-Dubs for a few days.
Yeah, he ain't doing work with the C-Dubs yet, man. He's got some work to do.
As a funny aside, what about Chris Chiozza putting out his address on the internet?
Dude, D, right.
That was bold.
God,
right.
That was hilarious. That reminded me a lot of that Trevor Ariza back when he was in Houston when that fan was talking mess to him. He put his address up like, man, come outside. These fans, just because you pay money to come to the game don't mean you can say whatever you want to.
No,
at the end of the day, people are human and come from where you come from majority of the time.
You know what? That's a point. That's a good point. Nurkic got fined $40,000 for throwing the dude's phone yesterday for talking crazy. And we saw Sean Marion yesterday pop into Twitter Spaces, had to check some people. Somebody's going to get rocked out there, man, because people on the internet are getting a little too reckless with the way they're talking to these professional athletes, man. Some of these guys are out of pocket.
Yeah, they out of pocket, and it's so corny because I'd had to go off on plenty of people, and I told you guys this the beginning of Twitter, D. Wade and Q Rich used to tell me, I'm tripping, but people think they could just say anything. That's not right, because if you see me in person, you ain't going to say them same things, and then once you get on a bumper, they always say, oh, no, I just wanted you to respond. That's so corny to me. Stop that. Be a fan of the game. If you like a player, like him. You don't, you don't. But that other stuff is corny.
Yeah, no doubt.
From the 650, it's not Iguodala, it's Bonta Iguodala.
Hey, you gonna see?
What?
Hey,
I don't even know.
I don't even know what that means. Hey, they say basically I'm milking it. I'm in bubble wrap.
Yeah, you're
only
in
took
bubble
2
wrap.
games off. You got to know the schedule. They played Wednesday in Boston. San Antonio I thought was a layup game, and then Orlando on Tuesday. You know what? Early day. Let me get that one off too. But hey, you will see me on the 2 for the rest of the season. No more days off for us, D. Right? No more, baby.
Days
We're locked
off,
in.
like Belichick.
We're locked in. D. Right. I see you in a few hours at Chase Center, brother.
Yes, I'll see you guys soon.
He's the
All
best.
right, D. Wright here on the Morning Roast. Bad loss. And you heard what he said right off the rip. Is that a loss on the coach? What could the coach have done better in that game? You're playing Orlando Magic. You're supposed to win that game.
Oh.
You're supposed to come out motivated and not score 17 points in the first quarter. Supposed to come out motivated when you're up 14 late in the third and going into the fourth up double digits, and you blow that game.
So people always say, like, oh, the coach has to motivate them. I don't care what job
These guys
you
are
work.
making millions.
I don't care what I don't care about the millions, but I don't care what job you're in. What about professional pride?
When the last time the boss man gave us
a pep talk?
Yeah, I like when I used to cover high school sports and I knew I had a deadline, to get the story in and get my quotes and stuff. My editor was like, "Hey, man, let's go out there, do your best. Go out there, write a really good article. Try not to have you motivate yourself.
That's what I'm saying.
You motivate yourself. Your name is on the line."
Speaking of being motivated, sounds like the Chiefs are motivated to trade Tyreek Hill, huh?
So
breaking news?
Yeah, we got some news here. I don't know if we want to put hit the breaking news sounder, but here's some reports here.
Unless something official happens.
Exactly. Okay. That's where I'm at. But let's update everybody here.
I probably shouldn't have said the B word.
Yeah, no, probably not, especially you.
That's my fault.
Yeah, you in the breaking news.
Instead of breaking, let's just use it as big news.
Breaking news.
Phil Developing
Mickelson.
Story.
Developing story.
Wow.
That's professional.
Sam,
a little too professional for this show.
You're too smart for this show.
I mean, you might need to go to 9 to 12.
We're also going to get a GoFundMe for his shoe game.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're not going to bust him out. Listen, I just told Lubman, and we're going to take care of him.
Okay.
He's size 11. Uh-huh. We're going to step it up.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good. He's making new money right now. The new money ain't kicked in yet.
It ain't.
He's more the producer. He's more the drive now. Let the new money kick in a couple months. He's going to come in with some nice kicks.
Yeah, see, I got my one pair of shoes right now, and that's all I need. They get me from A to B. My feet fit in them. I'm able to get around. They're comfortable. They do their job. I'm a function over form guy.
The problem I have with the shoes, because they're not bad shoes, he chokes them. Like, the shoe is so tight. It's like... It's choking. You know what I mean by choking?
Yes.
And folks, our audience knows what choking is. How can I, basically, to the smarter audience from 9 to 12
He
and 23.
laces them as tight as you possibly can.
Yeah, that's not good enough.
His ankles have no breathing room.
Yeah, it's not a good look.
He might give himself a Liz Jones fracture because of how hard he ties those
Liz
things.
I got bad ankles.
Jones fracture?
Yeah, whatever.
Jones fracture?
Sorry, I'm not the dude on the other
what
station.
What brand
who's
are those
obsessed
shoes,
with the foot injuries.
Lutman? What brand are those shoes?
I believe they're Asics. No, they're Fila's.
Fila?
Fila, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. You're so white.
Did he say Phyllis?
He said Phyllis. He's so white.
Shout out Racer from St. Mary's Park. He had the dopest Fila
Los
suits.
Lobos High School. How the hell did you go to the University of Miami and hang out with the dudes down there with the Hurricanes?
I was pretty book smart in high school, so that's how I got through it.
He wore flip-flops in Miami.
Oh, you know it every day, man. I was big flip-flop.
All right, let's get to the big news. Big news. Tom
news.
Pelissero. I could go on and love it all day. So many questions. So many questions I have for you, Sub Loman. Tom Pelissero, how would the Chiefs begin to replace superstar Tyreek Hill? Sources say Packers free agent wide receiver Marquez Valdez-Scantling is on his way to Kansas City for a visit. No deal imminent, but a logical option to help fill the void. Speed for speed. If the Chiefs trade Tyreek Hill, the draft pick return would be significant, but they already have one possibility in town. And then the Jets, Adam Schefter saying the Jets and Dolphins are in serious talks to trade for Chiefs wide receiver Tyreek Hill. Hill and the Chiefs are mulling what to do, but Hill's time in Kansas City looks like it could be coming to an end. And Langford is really happy about that because Tyreek Hill is a speed demon.
Bye-bye. He's unguardable.
Speed. Yep. No doubt. Jets and Dolphins, two teams now vying, and he's expected to receive a massive contract extension from the team that trades for him. So
From the 510, all my life, I've never heard Fila pronounced like that.
Fila. That is. Could that be the flex moment of the show?
I'm in the Fila myself.
Oh my gosh. And don't count out the Chiefs for
I love you, Sam.
What if the Chiefs draft like Garrett Wilson from Ohio State or Chris Olave? They're going to replace Tyreek Hill. That is crazy, though.
Grant me this on Tyreek. He's a video game. Like, he don't even run precise routes. He's just open all day. Like, he's conditioning is through the roof. He's way tougher than you think he is. He's a superstar. Horrible human. Superstar.
Yeah, he's a superstar. Look, 49er fans, it's like 49ers do your work. They're not even going to explore a guy like Tyreek Hill. That ain't happening in this region.
No.
Not even close.
No.
8 players. And Killian already has a column written if Tyreek Hill gets traded here. 8 players with the combined 33 Pro Bowl selections.
Like the Willie Mays obituary that's been like typed out 20 years ago. They're waiting to hit send.
They're ready to hit.
The Tyreek Hill article is ready to be hit.
And Killian for the San Francisco Chronicle got that article ready to go if they trade for it. She already got. We'll have, and it's not even funny. I'm not even trying to make a joke.
You're 100% real.
That article would be on not the front
While
page.
we're here,
not the front page of the Sporting Cream, but the front page of the damn newspaper.
Yeah, while we're here,
Section A1.
How did the USF baseball news get like thrown down to the bottom of the list? We haven't even talked about it.
I just heard about it yesterday.
You didn't hear about it?
No, I heard rumblings. Who was I talking to yesterday? Who was I talking to yesterday about it? Gosh,
were you talking to yourself before firing out a tweet?
No, I wasn't.
Per Anna?
I'm talking to myself right now because I wanted to get this off.
I need to shout out somebody. I forget their names.
Tom Pelissero. 8 players with the combined 33 Pro Bowl selections have been traded in perhaps the wildest month in NFL offseason history. Russell Wilson, Carson Wentz, Khalil Mack, Amari Cooper, Ngakoue. Where did Ngakoue
went to the Colts? Went to the Colts. It was a player-for-player trade. Rock Ya-Sin to the Raiders.
Wow. All right, so Devontae Adams, Deshaun Watson, Matt Ryan, and Tyreek Hill would make it 9 and 39. Wow. 9 players and 39 Pro Bowl selections. The USF news, somebody brought it up. Was it Lubman who brought it up? I forgot who brought it up.
Basically, and I'm reading from the KTVU site right now, the University of San Francisco's baseball coach was fired Sunday after claims of psychological abuse and inappropriate sexual conduct. Head coach Nick, I forget how to pronounce his name, Girantano, was let go after new allegations surfaced last week, according to school officials.
He'd been there for a while, right?
A long time. They had top picks. They've had a lot of players come through that way. Alyssa Nacken, who's on the Giant staff, got her start through USF, basically hovering around the program. So kind of wild, and it was just so under the radar because nobody wrote about it. We don't really, give college sports the kind of I guess coverage that maybe that other areas do, but wild allegations.
So people on Comcast, wild allegations, no doubt about it. Let's segue from that because a lot of people coming in on the Comcast business text line saying they need a picture of Lubman's fillas, not feelers, fillas. Somebody else, 925, LOL, get that boy some shoes. This is great. Lubman, man, you're a star. You're a star, brother. You're a star.
Hey, let me if I can give you any advice in radio, lean into it. Just lean into it.
Hey, if this gets me a free pair of shoes, I'm considering it a win in my books.
Dude. You could be the Don Baylor of this show.
You know what?
Do you know who Don Baylor is, Sam?
Nah, I'm not that old yet.
All-time leader in being hit by a pitcher.
Yep. World Series champ.
Oh, okay. Yeah, now one's coming back.
Yeah, lean into it.
He was on the Red Sox when they lost to the New York Mets in '86. He actually signed a baseball abide. Head coach, mid-90s.
I liked him.
Yeah. He signed a baseball abide. Don Baylor, I loved him. By the way, if we send a picture of Lubman's feelers on the internet, I'm worried for Lubman. I'm worried. These shoes.
He has the Adidas with the 4 stripes.
Dude, oh my god. Dude, are we gonna tweet this? Are we gonna tweet the shoes out? We got to make a decision.
Hey,
because it could get ugly.
So
we can find out after the break, maybe.
Yeah, good. Because after the other side, I'm going to explain why the Tyreek Hill thing has a domino effect to the 49ers.
How?
I'll explain.
How?